It's time to make some sourdough, and since tomorrow's Valentine's Day, I'm gonna try making it a pink loaf using some beetroot powder. I've done a couple experiments trying this already, and both times it turned out brown. The beetroot powder oxidizes, so you need to give it some sort of an acid to keep it from doing that. So we're gonna try using just a little bit of white vinegar. We're gonna mix the beetroot powder with water and white vinegar before we add it into the rest of our mixture and see if that helps with cutting the oxidation and keeps our beetroot powder staying nice and vibrant red through the whole proofing and baking process. I'm gonna do 350 grams of water. I'm only making one loaf because if this doesn't turn out, I don't wanna ruin more than one loaf. And I'm just gonna give it a little splash. That was 5 grams of vinegar. I'm just gonna add some beetroot powder. That was 15 grams, so about a tablespoon. Whisk this up. And I'm just gonna leave this to sit for a couple of minutes and let that beetroot powder dissolve into the water and try to just kind of all merge as one. I don't know if that's right, that just feels instinctively like what I should do with this, so we're gonna leave this for a minute and then we'll come back and get to adding everything else. Now that that's been sitting a bit, I'm gonna add my active starter, so I'm gonna add 150 grams. 152, went slightly over on that one, but what are you gonna do about it now? Now I'm adding 500 grams of flour total, but I like to do about 50 grams of a heartier wheat. So this is just a white whole wheat that I happen to have on hand. I kind of switch it up every time to whatever is easiest and most convenient or whatever I feel like doing that day. Sometimes I'll mill my own flour, but a lot of days I don't have time for that. Sure as hell don't have the energy for it. So this is just King Arthur bread flour for the rest of it. And I'm gonna wait to add my salt, but if you wanna add it, you can add 10 grams of salt now. Beautiful voice, sweetie. Okay, I'm gonna cover this up, leave it for an hour, and then we'll come back and add our salt and start doing some strengthening. Our dough's been resting for an hour, so I'm gonna go ahead and add our salt now. I'm adding 10 grams of salt. I'm just doing a little drizzle of water to help get that salt dissolved and help make it a little easier to incorporate that salt. Once I've kind of worked that salt in a bit, I'm just gonna go around and give it a little gentle stretch and fold around the bowl. Help it get all nice and incorporated. Now I'm gonna cover the bowl up and leave it for another hour. I'm gonna come back and probably do another round or two of stretch and folds, and then we'll leave it to do the bulk fermentation, and we'll come back for shaping and adding in some fun inclusions. I don't know exactly what I'm gonna do, but I wanna do something fun Valentine's Day themed. I'm thinking maybe some chocolate chips and sprinkles, or I don't know, we'll think about that. Leave a comment if you have an idea of something that you think would be really fun to add for an inclusion in this.